Hello, and welcome to our first video on Rooms Division Operations Management for Foundation Degree students. In this video, we will focus on the lodging industry, the hospitality industry, classifying hotels, classifying guests, hotels organisational chart and key terminology used in Rooms Division, legislation, statutory and regulatory requirements. Let's look at the accommodation providers. The basic requirements of the guests in any residential establishment are food, drink, and accommodation. Accommodation is a space and facilities needed for sleeping and/or living. Accommodation is provided by a number of establishments ranging from luxurious to basic. Those establishments can be hotels, guest houses, bed and breakfast, farmhouses, self-catering, apartments, service apartments, hostels and halls of residence, cruise ships, ferries and trains. Cruise ships are mostly high standard and luxurious, but rooms might be smaller than in hotels. Ferries offer basic cabins, sometimes shared bathrooms, but mostly short stay. Hire craft and hotel boats, and luxury trains. Organisational structure determines how the roles, power and responsibilities are assigned, controlled and coordinated. A structure depends on an organisation's objectives and strategy. It enables the distribution of authority. In large hotels, duties will be more specialised, whereas in smaller hotels, one person might perform a variety of duties and some positions might not exist at all. For example, in smaller hotels, there might not be valet or 24-hour room service departments. Those duties might be taken over by porters. In large and luxurious hotels, service is offered 24 hours and the duties are more specialised. In more remote locations, staff might be living in. Let's take a look at the hotel organisation chart. Management. Underneath the CEO is the management staff, headed by the Hotel General Manager. The General Manager, who oversees all hotel operations on a daily basis, may hire an assistant manager to help with his myriad duties and supervision. Underneath the General Manager, a hotel may have a catering director, restaurant manager, wine manager, human resources director, administrative director, and a front office manager. Rooms Division is made up of front office, housekeeping, night audit, and reservations. The front office is made up of a front desk and uniform services. Within uniform services, there are bell stand, valet parking or garage, concierge, and door persons. Housekeeping duties are to maintain guest room and common room area cleanliness. Reservations reserve and sell guest rooms and work with group sales to maximise room revenue. Night audit duties are to coordinate daily financial transactions and to conduct its activities at night when the hotel is less busy. Engineering or maintenance is responsible for repairs and maintaining all equipment. The food and beverage department is responsible for preparing and serving food and drinks. It may consist of many sub-departments. Food and beverage organisational structure in a hotel or restaurant. In any typical food and beverage service operation, A number of people are working together to serve the guest or customer. To carry out all functions involved in service, people are placed with different duties and responsibilities. The roles are Food and Beverage Manager, Assistant Food and Beverage Manager, Restaurant Manager, Room Service Manager, Banquet Manager, Bar Manager, Departmental Supervisor Senior or Head Waiter, Waiting and Bar Staff, and Trainees. Here is an example of a restaurant organisational structure. And here is the example for the hotel food and beverage structure.
My name is Cyril Bulvestre. I'm 29 years old and I'm the Rooms Division Manager at Mercure La Défense Park, which is a 160-room hotel located in the Paris suburbs. I manage a 28-person team working at reception and in housekeeping. I am also part of the management team. We all refer to the Hotel General Manager. In this position, I function as a team leader and general hotel organizer. The day begins at reception, where I talk to the teams, gather information, and check the breakfast service to make sure everything is in place. There is an obligatory inspection of the floors to check that the quality of the rooms is optimum. I also supervise the reservations, which requires regular meetings with the different department managers. I communicate with the sales department to prepare meeting rooms before the guests arrive. I am often in contact with the technical department or the kitchen team for security checks, details relating to customer comfort to prepare special events. I participate actively in employee recruitment for the reception and housekeeping. I am also very hands-on during the integration and training period of employees during their first weeks. This enables me to make an objective evaluation at the end of the trial period, so as to optimize the employees' progress. We also have a lot of responsibility concerning the optimization of the hotel's income. There is a lot of negotiation and discussion to help increase sales. I am in contact with the general manager, discussing the potential of a client or company, so as to make the best recommendations for each client. Using documents provided by our headquarters and specific websites, I analyze the competition and the market on a regular basis. I don't think you can become a rooms division manager by accident. You must really love it, as it's a very intense job. You need lots of energy and the capacity to anticipate. After studying at hotel school and obtaining qualifications in catering, I work as a receptionist and night auditor. I've been a rooms division manager for the past 2 years now, and I've been able to do some internal training, which will enable me to apply for hotel general manager position.
The typical departments in Rooms Division are Front Office, Reservations, and Housekeeping. Let's look at Front Office first.
Let's meet Kath, who works in a hotel. Kath's day is full of new people. She works at the front office desk at Quest Flemington Hotel, where she works shift, including days, evenings, weekends and public holidays. She loves to help the people who are staying at this hotel. When they first arrive, she takes the guests' details and gives them a room. As many of the guests are tourists or business people from interstate, she's often asked for advice about the best places to visit, places to eat and how to get there. She also organises a lot of services for the people staying at the hotel, such as laundry, taking messages, cashing travellers' checks and making travel and sightseeing bookings. Once they leave the hotel, she works out the guest's bill and takes their payments. When she isn't assisting guests in person, Kath is taking bookings on the phone or by email. Some of the shifts are very busy and she's working with other staff on the reception desk. During the night shifts when it's quiet, Kath works alone. Kath completed a 2-year advanced diploma in hospitality management at TAFE. In this course, she was trained about all areas of hotel management, including food, accommodation, front office, sales and finances.
Next is reservations. Although some reservationists may work at the front desk of a hotel or resort, most reservations are made over the phone. Reservationists handle reservation requests over the phone, through email and in person. Since they may handle hundreds of requests every day, they must have excellent knowledge of current available rates, deposits required, and how to accept payments. They must also be sure to tell customers any rules or conditions of the reservation, such as check-in and check-out times for hotels, baggage limitations and costs for airlines, and cancellation policies to minimize misunderstandings. When a customer cancels a reservation, he must be able to handle that professionally, including determining if there is a way to save the reservation. Let's now move on to housekeeping.
My name is Lawrence Tabor, and we're at the Holiday Inn Express in Loves Park, Illinois. Housekeeping, I feel like it's the behind the scenes job that nobody sees, and physically the hardest job. Typically, they have a housekeeper who will come in every morning and get her task sheet from her head housekeeper, and that kind of just explains what room she has and the status of those rooms, if they're due out or checked out. And they'll just go through those rooms and clean accordingly. And if there's any special requests from a particular guest, they'll take care of that as well. A person that typically does well is one that pays attention to detail. You have to look at every crack and every place underneath the bed, behind the nightstands, TVs, and they have to all do it in a certain amount of time as well. Some of the challenges of housekeeping is being consistent, just because of the physical labor, and to pay attention to details, room after room after room, can get really tiring. So just making sure they have that positive attitude to be consistent for every single room, because every single room is going to be a new guest that checks in there. Some things I look for when hiring are attitude and if they're comfortable in the interview process, just because first impressions is so important at a hotel. We always want the guests to feel like they have that good first impression. Every time they see a housekeeper in the hallway, that they're speaking to them, talking to them. If a guest is staying with us week after week, they start to notice that or learned about that guest without even meeting them. Every time they come, they might have Pepsi, and the housekeepers noted that in the garbage every single time for this one guest. For them to take the extra step and go the extra mile to let the front desk know or let management know, hey, I see this guy drinks Pepsi all the time. Maybe we could just get them a 6-pack of Pepsi and put it in the room before they arrive. So making those personal connections with the guests is so important. Just in the hotel business, there's always an option to move up in any area. She could lead to a head housekeeper position, which can in return lead to front desk maybe, or even our general managers. In my eyes, I believe every single one of them is a manager, and they have to make those decisions. So I feel like hiring the right people based off of first impression that can make decisions is a huge account.
Hello, and welcome to our second video on Rooms Division Operations Management for Foundation Degree students. In this video, we will focus on front office operations, the guest cycle, pre-arrival, arrival, occupancy, departure, front office systems, front office documents, telecommunications and property management systems, and the front office audit. Let's talk about guest cycle. The guest cycle is an overview of the physical contacts and financial exchanges between the hotel and its guests. It starts from the potential customer's first contact with the hotel through to checkout and reconciliation of the account. Guest cycle can be divided into 4 phases: pre-arrival phase, arrival phase, occupancy phase, and departure phase. Here are 4 phases of the guest cycle and the activities or tasks within each phase. Phase 1. Pre-arrival reservations, which include reservation, identification of source of business, prepayment, other pre-arrival activities, for example, pre-registration or pre-assignment. Phase 2. Arrival registration, which includes identification of guest status, registration, room assignment, rate assignment, establishment of credit, creation of guest account, issuing of room key, and rooming of guests. Phase 3. Occupancy of room. This includes updating of room status, room or rate change, cashiering activities, communication with other departments, and maintenance and auditing of accounts. Phase 4. Departure settlement and checkout. This includes settlement of guest accounts, collection of room keys, updating of room status, communication with other departments, creation of guest history, and follow-up on late charges. Let's move on to property management system. Installing such a system is expensive, therefore it must offer extensive benefits to the hotel and to guests. Many functions performed by the front office are suitable for computers due to its reoccurring data manipulating and number calculating nature. Such functions include processing of reservation requests, registration of guests during check-in, updating of room status, posting of all charges to guest accounts, settlement of folios either during the guest stay or at checkout, updating of guest history, and generating relevant reports for use by other departments and management. A property management system enables the front office to be linked to other departments such as restaurants, bars, and health clubs. Guest information needed by these departments can easily be accessed through the linked information system. Guest information needed by these departments can easily be accessed through the linked information system. The front office computer system can print out all relevant daily reports for management or other departments. Data can also be collected and reports printed on monthly or yearly basis. And the last part, front office audit. The front office audit is usually referred as the night audit because hotels generally perform it during the late evening hours. Before the implementation of automated front office systems, the most convenient time to perform the audit was during the late evening and early morning hours. This helps the front office personnel to work with minimum interruption, and also most of the hotel outlets and revenue centres are closed during this time.
The night audit is actually 2 things. It's the process of auditing the day's revenue and payments, checking that they are correctly posted in various systems. And secondly, it's a procedure in the property management system that is run at the end of the day to process postings and generate statistics. During the night audit process, many things happen. Room and tax is posted, statistical information is generated, totals are zeroed out so that the next day can start with a clean slate, and the date is advanced. And that the date is advanced by this process is done on purpose. Of course, a hotel could decide to use the system date or the calendar date as the hotel date, but most hotels prefer not to, and the reason for that is that revenue from the bar or other outlets that are open until after midnight, like perhaps room service, is recorded on the correct business date. That's how it works.
A night auditor is the duty manager responsible for all operations of a property, working from late evening until the early morning hours. Night auditors act as desk clerks, are responsible for security, and are responsible for the reconciliation of daily accounts. Night auditors deal with the needs of existing guests, accept and manage reservations, and learn to use computer technology for accounting, telephone and reservation systems, and other guest services. In addition, they develop expertise on safety and security issues.
I enjoy working the night shift, even though it's a lot of responsibility sometimes. Anything can happen on any given night, and it's our job to be prepared for that. Whether it's a medical emergency or a staff absence or a computer crash, etc., that we address the situation as quick as possible and as efficiently as possible, and to make sure that our guests are happy, they're safe, and that they're secure at nighttime. The type of person that would be ideal to do my job, especially from an audit point of view, is someone that's detail-oriented. You need to be able to improvise no matter what situation arises. We see some unique individuals on the night shift sometimes. You need to be able to diffuse possible situations in advance of them happening, and to make everyone feel comfortable regardless of how their evening's gone. I love my job. I enjoy the responsibility. I enjoy the challenges. No two nights are the same. And if you can stay awake all night, I highly recommend the night shift for anyone.
Night auditor is a good career choice for people who prefer the quiet of a night shift, who like to work alone for a percentage of the time, and who enjoy the challenge of being the senior person with senior responsibilities during each working shift. For more information, please visit www.emerit.ca.
Hello, and welcome to our third video on Rooms Division Operations Management for Foundation Degree students. In this video, we will focus on reservations. This includes reservations and sales, types of reservations, group reservations, reservation availability, reservation record, and reservation reports.
The hotel reservation officer is the person who has the knowledge and skills necessary to make reservations, to record the activities of the accommodation facilities, and to inform guests of hotel activities and services. The department which the guests are directed to before they come to the facility is the reservation department. At the reservation department, guests are informed about the room properties and pricing. During the telephone reservation process, the following details should be documented and should be logged into the system by the reservation officer. Payment details, name, surname, and contact information of the person who makes the reservation, room type, reservation date, the number of days reserved, the type of accommodation, and items that are included in the price. The reservation officer who performs all of these operations coordinates with the front office staff and should thus definitely have good communication skills. He or she should follow the reservation operations carefully, should prepare statistical reports regarding operations, should prepare annual, monthly, weekly forecasts and send them to the related departments.
Reservations is a department that is responsible for the management of reservations within the operations of the rooms divisions. It is the process of taking bookings of rooms from customers and making sure that customers' bookings are preserved. The reservations department attempts to maximize room rate and occupancy rate. It maintains communication with other departments, and it enables advanced booking. The aim of advanced booking is to produce a written record for reservations, enable recognition of unwanted guests in time to take appropriate action, quick access to room availability data on any date, thus allowing the reservation staff to accept or reject requests without delay, produce daily arrival lists, and enable management to maximise occupancy and room revenue. The types of reservation are guaranteed reservation, which assures the guest that the hotel will hold a room until a specific time of the day following the guest's scheduled arrival date, and non-guaranteed reservation, when the hotel agrees to hold a room for the guest until a stated reservation cancellation hour on the day of arrival. The following variations in advance payment for guaranteed reservation are: advance deposit. Reservation requires that the guest pay the hotel the anticipated amount of money before arrival. Prepayment with full payment prior to the guest's arrival. Credit card. Reservation is guaranteed by the guest's credit card. Travel agents. The guest pays the travel agents in advance for their tour package. And cooperate. Corporation accepts financial responsibility for any no-show guest. Non-guaranteed reservation is a provisional reservation. In this reservation, neither there is any legal process of confirming the room, nor is any payment for the advance deposit made. When the reservation is confirmed under the non-guaranteed reservation, the hotel agrees to hold the room until the reservation cancellation hour on the day of arrival. After the cancellation hour, the room is released and the reservation gets automatically cancelled. Reservations department also generate reports, and they are: room availability report, a list showing the number of rooms sold or available. It can be prepared on a daily or weekly basis. Expected arrivals and departure lists, a list of guests who are due to arrive or to depart on a particular day. Group status report, a list of groups to arrive or depart in the week or month, along with the information like the group size and whether a guaranteed or non-guaranteed booking. Special arrivals list, a list of special guests or VIPs arriving. This should contain their special request and additional information about the preferences of the guest. Turnaway report, a report on the number of reservation guests denied and, if possible, some information about the one asking for reservation. And revenue forecast report, a report on the projected revenue from the future room sales, along with a regular up-to-date report.
We're now ready to take control of the call by asking the investigative questions. But let's first look at what today's callers don't want to hear, especially if they've already been online or if they're online while they're on the phone.
Honey, I'm gonna put the kids to bed now.
Okay, dear, kiss them again for me.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling award-winning City Center Hotel. This is Eeyore. How may I assist you?
Yes, I'm trying to plan a surprise weekend for my wife and I to get away from the kids, and I needed some help, please.
Okay, when is it? How many nights? How many people?
Just the two of us?
Okay, I have a non-smoking double for $125 and a king for $150. You want to book it?
Unfortunately, that's what I all too often hear these days when I randomly call companies and hotels that apparently think that voice reservations is a dying distribution channel. Now let's take a look at what else today's callers don't want to hear.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling City Hotel. This is Jennifer. How may I assist with your travel plans today?
Hello, this is Ben Johnson. I'm going to be in town next Tuesday and I need to check some rates for a hotel.
Certainly, Mr. Johnson. I can assist you with that. That's next Tuesday, the 29th of this month, correct?
That's right.
And how many people?
Just myself.
Have you stayed here before?
No, this is my first time.
And are you traveling on business or leisure?
I'll be there for an interview, but I'll be stuck at the hotel for most of the time.
Okay, well then let me tell you a little bit about the hotel. Since you are traveling on business, you will enjoy having wireless internet. We also offer a complimentary newspaper and a pool for you to relax after a long day. Our rooms feature an iron, ironing board, and hairdryer and coffee maker. Would you prefer a king or 2 double beds? Good afternoon. Thank you for calling City Hotel. This is Jennifer. How may I assist with your travel plans today?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm going to be there next Friday for about 3 nights, and I'm just trying to check some prices.
Certainly, I can assist you with that. So that's next Friday, the 2nd of this month, correct?
Yes.
How many people?
It's going to be my husband and my 2 kids.
And have you stayed here before?
No, actually, it's going to be my first time.
Are you traveling on business or leisure?
We're going to be there for the citywide music festival that's coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me tell you a little bit about the hotel. Since you are here on leisure, you will enjoy wireless internet. We also offer a complimentary newspaper and a pool for you to relax after a long day. Our rooms feature an iron, ironing board, and hairdryer and coffee maker. Would you prefer a king or 2 double beds?
That type of reservation sales process might have worked in the late 1990s and the early 2000s when hotels were implementing nifty new features such as internet, in-room coffee, and flat panel TVs. But in today's environment, it is simply not compelling. It does nothing to differentiate your product from the competition. In listening to real calls these days, I have never once heard a caller react and say, "You have internet? Really? And I can make coffee in my guest room? That's incredible." Instead, I hear most callers politely enduring this feature list. Others might even interrupt and say, "Thank you, but I actually don't need to hear all that. I really just wanted to double check the rate." So instead of asking only those most basic questions and then launching into our scripted sales pitch, we first need to ask the right questions. Now, of course, we need to still ask what I call the mandatory or the inventory search questions in order to check availability in our reservation system. This typically is going to include the arrival and departure dates, always reconfirming that day of week and date of month, the number of adults and children. Especially if you're a leisure destination, you always want to ask for the ages of the children as well. We need to also ask about the bedding and the room configuration. And we still need to ask those important questions we had to ask back in the 1990s to determine their level of familiarity and the reason for their travel. So, have you stayed with us before? And may I ask what brings you to the area are still important. If you work at a remote, leisure-only destination, you might want to replace what brings you to the area with, "Are you celebrating anything special while you're here with us?" But these days, regardless, we must push on with one vital question. As I'm checking those dates, are there any questions I can answer for you about our location and our amenities? This question will help you determine if they're interested about information about the overall experience, or perhaps if they have a specific question, or if they simply want to double check the rates and fees.